Alright, so lesson 4 is over dependent events. Okay, what we did last time was independent. Dependent means that the second event depends on the first event. That means that things are going to change. So, the vocabulary. When the outcome of one event does impact the outcome of the second event, the events are called dependent. Okay, an example would be like if you have a bag of marbles and you have two events. You want to get a red one and then you want to get another red one, but you don't put the marble back. Okay, so the first time there's 10 marbles in the bag, you take a red one out and you don't put it back. Well, now for the second event, you want to get another red marble, but now there's not the same number of marbles. There's not 10 marbles in the back, and there's not even the same number of red marbles. So that changes the probability of the second event. But the dependent probability can still be determined by multiplying, so that doesn't change at all. It's still going to be find the probability of both events and multiply them together. So here is a little practice thing to determine if it is independent or dependent. Okay, so number 1 says flipping 2 coins results in one landing on heads and one landing on tails. So the first one lands on heads. Does that change what can happen on the second coin? No. Those 2 coins are completely separate from each other. They do not affect or impact each other. They are independent. Okay, number 2, the captain of the football team is selected, and then the co-captain is selected. Okay, so let's say you have 20 people that want to play football, and you pick the captain. Okay, so now you need to pick your co-captain. Do you still have 20 people? No, you already got one person out of there, so now you only have 19. Okay, so that is dependent because everything changed once you took one person out of the group. Okay, 3 says you draw a joker from a deck of cards, then you draw an ace. Okay, so if you have a deck of cards and you took a joker out, do you still have the same number of cards in the deck? No, you don't. Now you have one less card. Okay, so that is dependent. The only way that that one would be independent is if they say that you put the card back. Okay, they didn't say that you put the card back, so that means that you had to keep it. Number 4, you draw a card from a deck of, you draw a queen from a deck of cards, you replace it, and then you draw a 10. That right there is very important. Replace it. That means that you put the card back, and now it's just like you had whenever you started. It's the same cards, the same deck. So that means that it is independent. That means that they don't affect each other at all. And number 5, a coin is flipped and a number cube is rolled. Okay, so if I flip a coin and I get a heads, does that mean that the number cube is going to be different, that it changes? No, those two things are completely separate from each other. A number cube, it doesn't just change, like a 3 doesn't just disappear off of it. Okay, those are completely independent of each other. Doesn't matter if I get heads or tails on the coin, I can still get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on the number cube. Alright, now we're going to look at some practice problems.